One day a few years ago, I was on my way to work. I had all my stuff in the car, said a prayer for safe travels, then made my way down the road. The drive to work was fairly easy, so I normally didn't have any issues getting there. As I was coming to a particular stoplight, it looked as if the car in front of me was going to go through it. However, they ultimately decided to stop at the red light. I slammed on my brakes. I was thankful that I didn't hit him. However, that is when I noticed something strange had happened to my car. It had completely turned off. I was confused. Maybe I hit the brakes too hard? I started panicking and tried to figure out how to give my car battery some power or something. I began praying, "Please God, help me to get this car turned back on." That is when a truck stopped behind me and a man walked over. I rolled down my window and he was kind enough to help me figure it out. I thanked him and he told me to have a safe drive. Eventually, I made it to work safely with no more issues. I am so thankful that God kept me from hitting that other car and for the stranger that stopped to help me out. This happened a long time ago, between high school and college. I was dating a guy that I had met through a friend. He seemed to be a nice guy, not like most who wanted to drink, drive, and do crazy things. We were at a friend's house when another guy showed up. He wanted to know if any of us wanted to go someplace fun with him and his buddy. So my date and I and another couple got in the car with him and his buddy. The guy had apparently been drinking or something because his eyes were red and glassy. He started the car and zoomed out of the driveway. The guy of the other couple said, "Cool car, man." The driver said, "You want to see what it can do?" He then turned on the back road and started going over 100 miles an hour. He was going so fast that some of us were getting dizzy. He kept turning down different roads, even getting past 100 miles per hour. I whispered to my date that this guy was going too fast. The other girl was getting nervous as well. I started praying in my mind to the Lord to protect us and keep us from getting into an accident. I asked that he would bring us back safely as well. My date said, "Hey man, slow down. You're scaring the girls." All of a sudden, the driver's expression changed. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Then he drove us back slowly to our friend's house. I was thankful to get out of that car. My sister, brother-in-law, mom, and I were on our way back from visiting family for Christmas one year. We had left around 3 in the afternoon, yet it took about 5 to 6 hours to return home. So by the time we had an hour left in the trip, it was dark. At one point, we all thought it would be sort of fun to listen to a few scary stories. However, about 15 minutes later, we had our own creepy encounter. We had turned on a secondary road to avoid the highway. As we went down the road, it began to get noticeably darker. There were not any streetlights around, and the houses were spaced apart. All of a sudden, we saw taillights of a truck pull up in front of us. The truck was moving slowly, similar to a scary story we had heard only minutes before. We all began to pray that God would keep us safe, and that this would not turn into a horribly creepy incident. The truck then stopped, the window rolled down, and a guy moved his arm out of the window, telling us we could pass. Nearby, there was a dog just casually walking on the side of the road. Apparently, the guy was trying to get his dog back. We all breathed a huge sigh of relief that he was only getting his dog. We thanked the Lord and stopped listening to scary stories during the rest of the trip.